All right. So clickbait title aside, we're gonna have a quick chat on JAX, which isn't really a big old deal, except the internet seems to think the opposite. Everybody's mad or clickbait, gaslighting, you name it. It's kind of ridiculous. Kind of funny because I kind of think it's not even an issue. It's just funny. Except Freddie's telling me that he actually feels different. That there is still a change. What's
Yeah, like
hmm.
it's I don't know. I can't like pinpoint the exact thing. I get everyone's complaining that he's more what he's
Douchey?
saying, but I was like I already got that from him when he pushed the what on the escalators like quiet, I can't hear the escalator.
Oh,
But
Gangle.
when yeah, and when he pushed Gangle and was just like,
And
ladies first. Wait a minute. Why am I saying that? And just pushes us. Like I kind of got that vibe from him. So that's not the issue I have with what he's saying.
Quiet. I
It
can't hear the escalator.
yeah, it just seems like how he's saying things or like his overall like I don't know, I feel like it's not believable to me like lack of emphasis, lack of like it sounds more like he's trying to be an asshole instead of he just was. Like it just the overall tone sounds like it's shifted.
I think there is a change, and I kind of talk about it. I think I hint to it in the video I put out. One thing that did catch me was going from the pilot to this one. Jax is still the same to me. I know, shocker. Except in the pilot, he's got that sassiness. He's got that sassy extra mile, which I think is kind of gonna be a normal because it's the pilot. It's supposed to make a huge splash. You're supposed to get everybody's feel, right? In this one, I think it's perfectly fine to notice that there's a tone down with everybody because we're starting to cycle through characters and starting to poke at individual stories and growing them like that. So what did they do? They toned back Kane, they toned back Bubble, and then we focused obviously a bit more on Pomni. We even got Gummy Goo, which that was fun while it lasted. And in the background, we had Gangle and Jax interact, which is I thought was pretty cool. But Jax, obviously, he had this completely I'm just an asshole vibe instead of from the which by the way I found this out the Tumblr sexy man he was that facade he had in the first pilot. I think people wanted that again, and I think it's hilarious because I didn't know that was a Tumblr term, and now it's apparently known in the internet, and that's what people thought Jax was. He is the Tumblr sexy man, like the Onceler and all that rabbit hole. Please don't go down the rabbit hole.
Mm.
they they wanted that again, but instead we got I fucking want to kill everything. I want this violence. There's no violence. This sucks. You guys disappointed me. And he still ends up killing half the people or everybody because he left the fudge walk in. And that energy is completely different. And I tried to talk to you about it as well. There was maybe it's the VA direction, which if I'm right, it's from Epic Mountain and mostly Gooseworks. I believe she was doing the VA direction on these, but I really can't point the finger to say that they ruined Jax. I don't think they did at all. I think he's perfectly fine. Like 100%. I think he's perfectly fine. I think the better word to me is there's a tone down. It's not a tone like shift or he's just not Jax anymore. It's just he's still Jax. It's just to me the way I'm hearing and the way I'm seeing this and where it might progress. It's just we're gonna get these up and downs with characters. Or maybe that's something different to think about instead of just seeing the internet blow up and be, well, he's not sexy anymore. He's not mysterious or this or that or sassy. Now he's just this asshole who wants to be violent. I don't like this, you know? But
Yeah.
what does that sound like a fair point to you that there is a directional VA shift, but maybe it's just a tone down, perhaps?
I guess so. It's just weird to me because like usually pilots aren't so polished, and you can tell the background stuff is like a lot of blender, a lot of whatever engine they were using.
Like starter
Um,
engine, not super high money.
yeah, and it sounds like they were like, well, since we can't make the background balls to the walls 4K 8K looking graphics, it still looks good to me though, but it's you can tell in the second episode, or I guess the
Yeah, second.
next episode,
It's
yeah,
weird.
like you can tell that the graphics are like hell yeah, like graphically and story wise, the second episode did increase. It's just weird to me that the voice acting sounds so polished and good in the first episode, and then the second episode, it's kind of like after the tunnel scene where Pomni's falling, it just Jack sounds weird after that because he sounds normal when he's falling when Pomni's falling.
So it starts to sound weird after the chasing. I guess you said after the tunnel. Oh no, I guess no.
Yeah,
That's right after. So it's during the chase and all
yeah,
that going on.
like right when the episode begins, it's like okay, it's it's the sound like how Pomni sounds, Kane sounds, Jack sounds. They sound like episode, I guess episode one to make it easier. They sound like the pilot, the first episode. But then after that, that's when like I don't know, man. It just my ears. It's just weird to me. Everything sounds different after that. Visually, everything got an upgrade for sure. They
Oh
doubled
yeah,
down on the graphics.
music too. Like I just enjoyed it. Everything was great except for what I pointed out, which was the humor. But I still think, and maybe it's just the way that I'm looking at it. The way he's acting now, instead of being the sexy man, we get to see how he really is in like a bit of a natural place. Because maybe that's how he acts with everybody around to a degree. Like he's got this sassiness going on, and when he's out in the missions, he has like a shift because more than likely he just wants to start violence. He wants to do that edge lord stuff. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I
That
guess
that
we
could
gotta
just be
wait
like the
till
real Jax. Like basically, he's just an asshole. He's like, haha,
yeah.
I'm not sexy. I'm just gonna be a dick.
Probably just gotta wait for the rest of the episodes to see how he turns out.
I think it'll be the same. It'll just be just fluctuation, honestly. Like because this is the thing that I gotta point out. Jax is hurting. He's got that when they were gonna do the funeral. You saw for like literally a second. He had that little moment of like just being mad and being sad. But the internet, instead of looking at that and saying like, "Oh, maybe Jax is not. He's not always gonna be the sexy man. He's gonna be a douchebag. I'm sorry. He's just gonna be an asshole, a douchebag because that's his outlet. You know how your outlet is obviously making music. His outlet is just being a piece of shit. Maybe
I mean,
kind of like that meme I
to me that
saw because
to me
with
that's
the.
what makes him cool. I don't want him to be a good guy.
Oh, I know. It's like the meme I saw a while ago, and I'm gonna post it here in a sec. The whole they took the scene with Puss in Boots with Jack Corden, and he's with the Jiminy Cricket, and he's like,
Mm.
"Oh, you're a monster." And he's like, oh, what took you so long, idiot? And he picks him off. And like, that's Jax. Like, yeah, no duh. He's not a sexy man. He's a freaking douchebag. So I think that's what the internet's party gonna have to realize. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong, or vice versa. But I guess we will just find
Yeah,
out. But honestly, I think it's a win-win situation because maybe you get to be true, and it's just that they're maybe it's the audio fixing with the Mountain Company, maybe it's Gooseworks trying to figure the voice actor with their character. Who knows? You know, because it's very specific with what you're nitpicking at.
yeah, because like I, well, I'm not attracted to animals, so the whole hot man's or whatever you're trying to say, I'm like
It's
irrelevant to
actually a
me.
thing. Do not do the rap. The point is,
Yeah,
he
I
came off
get
as
it.
this sexy man, and it's
I just
yeah.
like my grievances are like none of those. I don't fit in the category of copium in that sense. I'm just like his tonal shift is just weird to me because he sounded so cool. I'm tired of good guy characters like Pomni, cool story, bro. Ragatha, you kind of try to make it convenient for everyone else. I get it, good person, good hearted, but I like
It's nice
watching.
to see a
Uh,
downright bad person. I know.
yeah, it's like Kane. I like Kane because he's putting him through this whole predicament, and there's probably a bigger picture there that I hope doesn't flop. Like I really hope like whatever he ends up being is something grand.
Mm.
And then with Jax, I really like his character because it's just I can relate to him. I don't care. I don't know about the whole look good shit. I'm not into rabbits, nor am I into like it's a cartoon.
No, 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 no. I get what you mean. It's just like
So
the
yeah,
persona he gave off.
it's
But
yeah, it's
yeah,
just in the pilot he was so cool to me. In the show, it was kind of just like kind of whiny.
I
I
think
don't know.
like I said, it's just the way that I look at it too. I think it's just him being in a natural spot that it was a different outlet, obviously, than the circus. But that's just how he is.
Yeah,
If he
I
doesn't get his
agree.
way, he's just a mopey
Maybe
asshole.
that's why I said maybe we got to see the other episodes and see how he acts. If they're in the circus and he still flops on the voice, then I'm just gonna call it what it
See,
is.
I'd rather have this conversation because the end is going to be the opposite, and they're going to be like, "Oh my god, clickbait! Another one. Jax is bad. His character's been assassinated." It's like, no, he's the
Mhm.
same. He's the same. This is Jax. We knew this. The only thing is, there's a
That's
conversation of does his tone match him now, essentially, to
we're
some
just making
people,
we're
like
just
how
making
you're
people
pointing it
mad.
out. It's like you would just want that Jax energy from the first one. But again, I'm looking at the other way. Like maybe that's just he's got his ups and downs. That's it, or his natural habitat, whatever. Again, interesting conversation. Anything else you want to add to it? Because I think I've said my piece on it. We just gotta find out. Maybe again, they just tone down characters to make others shine. Gummy Goose shine. Gummy Goose shown like a mother this episode, and he's like the new fan favorite now. So maybe that's a plan. Put some characters a little bit down to have others get propped up, or you keep the energy the same, which can be pretty hard to balance out. So I think that's a fair, safe thing that they did.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see how this goes, man. Because regardless, Circus looks amazing to me, and I can't wait for more. So with that being said, we both love Jax. Looks like he's here to be our residential asshole, and I'm here for it.